Hi guys, today's mini lesson in math is going to be on multiplying by 10, 100, 1,000, and so on and things like that. So if you'll do me a favor, pause the video now and label the next page in your notebook, multiplying by 10, 100,000, and so on. And after you've got that written down, close your notebook for the I do and restart the video. Okay, so here we go. So I want to think back to probably third grade when you first learned to multiply. I want you to remember your tens were like super easy, your 10 tables, right? You probably had no trouble learning your tens because 6 times 10 was 60 and 8 times 10 was 80. And those were maybe the easiest one to memorize of all the tables. So what I want to show you today is not only is it easy to multiply by 10, but it's also easy to multiply by 100 or 1,000 or anything like that. So I want to show you both how to do it and why it works. So let's start with, that 8 times 10 problem. So I know you know that 8 times 10 equals 80. And let me just go over real quick. I know you know that, but let me go over real fast why with some base 10 blocks so you can see that. So 8 times 10 is like I'm going to take the 10 block, and there's going to be 8 of those, 8 sets of 10. So if I do that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 10 is 80 because it's just like saying I'm going to take 8 groups of these 10, as you can see down here, and it's going to make 80. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Makes a lot of sense, right? And so what I want you to know next is it's just as easy with 8 times 100. If I were to multiply 8 by 100, I'm going to do the exact same thing, just with hundreds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And as you can see down here, 8 sets of 100 is 800, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800. Makes a lot of sense. And so 8 times 800, or 8 times 100 is 800. And of course, guess what? Still works with 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I can multiply 8 by 1,000. Again, super easily. Oh, sorry, my mouse not working. 8 times 1,000, as I saw there, was 8,000. And you notice this really obvious pattern emerging, right? I could keep going if I had 10,000 blocks, which I don't. 8 times 10,000 is 80,000. Keep going. 8 times 100,000 is 800,000. One more, so we go to millions. We've done millions a lot in the class. 8 times a million is 8 million. And so I can just follow that pattern really easily and look and say, oh, well, 8 times 1,000. 1,000 has 3 zeros, so 8 times 1,000 has 3 zeros. It's kind of a quick trick. 8 times 100,000, 5 zeros, and look, my answer, 8 times 100,000 has 5 zeros. And so it's really easy with something like 8, and it works just as well with something like, say, let's do 12, right? If instead of just stopping at 8 tens, I did 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, go faster with this, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times 10 is 900. Now when I get to one more, I'm going to jump a place, right? It's going to make, one more 10 is going to make 100. And it'll even regroup those for me. Let me slide that over. That was 10, 11, 12. And then you can see there's my 12 times 10 I end up just adding a 0. So 12 times 10 is 120. Probably see where this is going. 12 times 100. If I redo that same thing with hundreds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here we go. Here's my 10th one. It's going to regroup them because I'm out of hundreds places. 11. 12. There's my 12. And there's my 2 zeros from 100. So 12 times 100 equals 1200. Now, I don't think it'll regroup thousands for me. I'll try. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Won't even let me do it. Because there's not enough room down here for it. So that'd be 10,000, 11,000, 12,000. And you can see that 12 times 1,000 would be 12,000. And so on. 12 times 10,000. I just count my zeros. It's the fastest way to do it. 12 times 10,000 has 4 zeros, so I write 12 and 4 zeros. 2, 3. And I can use that to do some predicting. So knowing that, open your notebook back and let's do a we do together here. And why don't we work on, we'll just write one easily in your notes. I want to do 2 actually, because there can be one little trick to it. Why don't we do, say, 23? So I'll do 23 times 10. And again, without the base 10 blocks, my trick is I just look at my 23 times 10 has 1 0 is 230. 23 times 100, look at my 23, count my zeros, be 23 100 blocks. The first 10 would make 1,000. The next 10 would make 2,000. And then I'd have 3 more 100s, and I'd get 23. If you want to imagine the blocks in your head. 23 times 1,000 is 23,000. Not too bad, right? 23 times, a million is 23 with 6 zeros. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 23 million. The only time this can be, there's like the slight trick, is when this number, the number I'm multiplying by, has a 0 in it already. Like, say I did 20 instead of 23, right? 20 times 10, I look at this 0 and I say, well, the answer is going to have only 1 0. But it's not. It's going to have 2 because 20 already has 1, right? So when I work that out, it's 20 from here. And then I add another 0 from here. 20 times 100. Don't get fooled into saying 2 zeros here, so 2 zeros in the answer. Not exactly, because 20 already has a 0, so it's 20, and then the zeros come from 100. And I'm going to get 2,000. One more, 20 times 1,000 is 20, and then I add the 3 zeros. So I end up with what feels like an extra 0, and that's an easy mistake to make, is to only put 3 zeros from here and forget this one was already in there. One more, 20 times a million is 20, and then I add my 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you need to stop and pause, finish up your notes here, and then when you get to class tomorrow, we'll do a you do together and a you do alone, and we'll practice this. Good work.